Have you ever felt the weight of a single word, its power to build or destroy? Words are not mere sounds, they are forces capable of shaping realities. When spoken without thought, they scatter recklessly, leaving chaos in their wake. But when chosen with care, they become bridges, connecting hearts and minds. What if the key to impact isn't saying more, but learning when to say less? Picture this. A room filled with chatter, yet one voice, measured and intentional, silences the rest. It isn't volume that commands respect, it's purpose. Silence is not absence, it's a presence, a pause that speaks louder than noise. Could it be that the greatest strength lies not in what we say, but in what we withhold? In the quiet, we find clarity. In a world drowning in words, where every second demands an opinion or reaction, silence feels almost rebellious. But consider this. What if the power of silence isn't in what it avoids, but in what it reveals? When we speak less, we listen more. To others, to ourselves, to truths that often go unnoticed. Is silence not the birthplace of wisdom? Silence isn't emptiness, it's potential. Think of it as a blank canvas where the masterpiece of understanding takes shape. When we pause to reflect, we find that silence isn't the absence of sound, it's the presence of meaning. It is within this stillness that the truth often whispers, guiding us to confront our fears, dreams, and untold stories. Can silence be our greatest ally in self-discovery? Every word we speak is like a ripple in a still lake, but what about the space between those ripples? It is there, in the quiet, that we begin to see beyond the surface. Like a poet crafting verses, silence gives depth to our thoughts and beauty to our expressions. Without it, our words lose their power, becoming noise instead of music. Could it be that silence is the thread that ties meaning to our words? The world rushes to fill every moment with sound, but what if we embrace the pause? Reflecting on our words before they leave our lips allows us to align them with our true intentions. In this practice, silence becomes a mirror, revealing who we are beneath the layers of haste and reaction. Is it not in the quiet moments that we uncover the truths we've been too busy to hear? Imagine standing at the edge of a vast canyon, staring into the unknown. The silence envelops you, and for a moment it feels overwhelming, like falling into an endless void. But then, a shift. You realize that this void isn't empty, it's brimming with possibility. What if the silence we fear is actually the space where transformation begins? Perhaps it's not the fall we should dread, but the wings we're about to grow. In every great story, there's a turning point, a moment when the hero faces their greatest challenge. Silence can feel like that moment, forcing us to confront the raw, unfiltered parts of ourselves. Yet, in that discomfort lies our greatest growth. It's in the pause between words, the breath before action, that we find clarity. Could it be that the silence we resist is the bridge to the life we seek? What if silence isn't the end of the story, but the beginning of something extraordinary? It's in the stillness that we find courage to step forward, wisdom to make bold choices, and strength to rewrite our narrative. Silence, then, is not our enemy, but our companion on this journey. Can we embrace it as the fertile ground where our dreams take root and flourish? Silence is not a void to be feared, but a gift to be embraced. It holds the wisdom of reflection, the power of restraint, and the courage to listen deeply, to ourselves and to others. In a world addicted to noise, choosing silence is an act of rebellion, a way of reclaiming control over our own narrative. Isn't it time we stopped fearing the quiet and started learning from it? The beauty of silence lies in its ability to guide us back to what matters. It strips away the superficial, leaving only the essence of who we are. In its stillness, we rediscover our strength, our purpose, and our connection to the world around us. Silence is not the absence of life, it is the pause that makes life meaningful. What truths might you uncover if you allowed yourself to be still? Let us walk away from this moment with a new understanding. Silence is not weakness, it is power. It is the foundation of thoughtful action, intentional words, and meaningful change. So, the next time you find yourself in the presence of silence, don't fill it, feel it. Let it speak to you, guide you, and transform you. After all, it is within the silence that we discover who we are and who we are meant to become. Silence isn't just about the absence of speaking. It's the foundation of listening. True listening happens when we quiet the noise within ourselves, the urge to respond, to interrupt, to prove a point. In that stillness, we begin to hear not just words, but emotions, intentions, and truths that often go unnoticed. Could it be that the greatest gift we can offer someone is the silence of undivided attention? Think of the moments when someone truly listened to you, not to reply, but to understand. That silence between you wasn't empty. It was alive with connection. In a world where distractions compete for every second, choosing to listen is an act of love and respect. When we silence our minds and focus on the other person, we create a space where real understanding can flourish. Isn't that what we all crave? Listening with intention transforms relationships. It builds trust, fosters empathy, and strengthens bonds. Silence, then, is not passive. It's active. It's a bridge between people. Imagine what could happen if we approached every conversation not with the need to speak, but with the desire to truly hear. Could this be the key to deeper and more meaningful connections? There's a profound strength in restraint, in holding back when every fiber of your being wants to react, defend, or assert. Restraint isn't weakness, it's control, clarity, and confidence. Silence, in moments of conflict, allows space for emotions to settle and understanding to emerge. Could it be that saying nothing is sometimes the most powerful response of all? When we practice restraint, we learn to pick our battles and choose our words wisely. Every moment of silence becomes an opportunity to reflect and align our actions with our values. It's in this deliberate stillness that we transform reactive impulses into intentional decisions. Doesn't this make silence a superpower in the face of chaos? Restraint teaches us that not every situation demands a response, and not every word needs to be spoken. By mastering the art of silence, we reclaim our power and focus on what truly matters. Imagine the freedom that comes with not being a slave to reactions, but instead choosing words and actions with purpose. Isn't this the path to a more empowered and impactful life? Silence is more than the absence of sound. It's the presence of meaning, wisdom, and transformation. In a world overflowing with noise, it is in silence that we find clarity, strength, and connection. It teaches us to listen with purpose, to speak with intention, and to embrace the power of restraint. Silence allows us to uncover the truths buried within and to create relationships that thrive on understanding and empathy. So let silence be your ally, not your adversary. Let it guide your words, actions, and reflections. Remember, it is not in endless talking that we find impact, but in meaningful pauses. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to reflect, embrace the quiet, and begin your journey toward a more intentional and impactful life. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications to keep exploring transformative ideas and stories like this one. Let's continue this journey together.